Going live.
I wasn't ready.
We're live. I was going to zip my jacket up. It's too late. We're live.
No, it's not. And now we are live. I mean, we were live, but now we're live.
I was about to say, so do you know that, like, so when you hit the live, we're still like this.
Yeah.
Then you do the countdown. Why don't you do the countdown, then do the live? Do you know what I mean? So it's like...
I just considered our cold open. Our very cold open.
Like, I don't understand what you're saying. Like you're like what's the? I don't see a problem here. What's the problem? It's like, hey guys, hold on a second. Let's do the countdown first. And then you do right, and then do the countdown. Wait a second. I'm confused. When did they go live? What was the actual start of the show?
Until I see in the comments, I'm really kind of over the botched openings. And
you're gonna keep doing it.
I would for a smoother transition into the opening. I'm just gonna keep. Don't fix the name broken.
I was gonna say you could just block that person, right?
Yeah. Well,
anybody who makes that kind of a comment, you should be like blocked.
How do we have -4 viewers? How do you have negative viewers? I'm just watching them watch me. That's what I'm doing now?
Watching them watch me. Watching them watch old videos of you.
Oh man.
I mean, well, that would still be better than the age group and adaptive athlete coverage that CrossFit has provided for the game for the first day of the games.
Is that really the best place you can put the camera? Like,
oh my gosh!
See some of the memes. Oh my.
No. I mean, I can imagine. What I just did was consume all of Hiller, all of Savan, all of Craig Ritchie in about 35-40 minutes.
Nice.
I watched it on 2x speed, kind of hitting advance a handful of times, not because their coverage wasn't enjoyable, but because I knew I was late on doing my homework for this.
Right.
And so I was surprised at that's not true. I noticed the absence of them specifically commenting on the atrocity of the coverage for the age group and adaptive.
Right. Like, I wonder, I remember listening to Savan the other day and he was kind of talking, I want to say it was Savan. No, I'm sorry. It was Dave. It was Dave. I think it was Dave Castro who was kind of talking about how, like, Savan will be there, but he's not there as a representative of CrossFit.
Mm-hmm.
He's just been given some media.
It's a pink. Hiller said it's a pink band. Savan, the Buttery Bros, Hiller, members of Hiller's team, and then Craig Ritchie and whoever's on his team. They have a pink band. All the rest of the media have blue bands.
And what's the difference?
I think that's the difference. Did you watch any of Hiller's videos?
I haven't watched any of Hiller's, no.
Okay, so he is at the test ride for the bike for the first event.
Okay.
Sorry, for the first test. No, there's no other media. At least noticeably, there's no other media there. So that's the level of. I think that's a example, or that's a right. That's a glimpse of the type of special access that those individuals, CrossFit decided to give those types of individuals, those 4 or 5 folks, as media outlets to allow them to, to allow them to film and then curate and then publish content from sort of the CrossFit Games as a event.
Right.
Okay. It's one of those, like, I'm watching it and I'm like, is there no CrossFit media team?
That's what I was thinking, because when I was watching it, because what I wanted to see is, like, how much is like from the games website, how much are they giving us? And it really feels like almost nothing. And so are they for this first part? This could be like, this might be smart from like, for now, from like a budgetary standpoint. Hey, we have these people on the ground with pink bands, essentially free labor, that are broadcasting this part for us. So we're going to put all our efforts into, because if you look, on the YouTube channel and stuff, they have, there's a lot of updates on the, there was some light updates on like the teens division, the adapted divisions, and they had these nice little like videos talking about, you know, who to watch and who to keep an eye on. But a lot of it's going to be focused on the individual competition anyway.
But all that stuff was pre-produced off-site, right? Like, so that would be like John Madden died, right? Didn't he? Is he still alive?
No, he passed away a while ago. Yeah.
Okay. You can see how into football I am. But so that would be like the football commentators. This game being played in Cincinnati. Does Cincinnati still have a football team?
Yes. They were in the Super Bowl 2 years ago.
Oh, good for them. They won the Super Bowl, or they were in the Super Bowl?
Oh, they lost to was that the Rams? They lost to the Rams.
They probably lost to the Patriots. Don't the Patriots go to the Super Bowl every year?
Not since Tom Brady left.
Oh, does Drew know that? Does Drew know that Tom Brady left the Patriots?
Right. Like, I hope Patriots fans are okay. You guys did all right for about 2 decades there. Yeah, so
it's been a while.
It's okay to have a little down stretch.
They're kind of like the heroin. They're kind of like the heroin addict coming out of rehab. Like, you doing all right, man? You got
like, I just saw this stat that Washington has won 1 playoff game since the year 2000. So,
oh boy,
I don't have sympathy for you, New England.
Anyway, so it would sort of be like Monday Night Football produces all this amazing content with cool edits and stuff, and then, you know, it's like game time, and you go to log in and watch the game, or, you know, whatever, turn on your TV, and it's just a shot from the blimp.
Right.
And there's like no sound. The commentary is like talking about Tostitos and you know, their time at the mall, and you're just like, wait a second, and there's no like presence at the actual game. Which I hear you, like, there maybe that is, they may have had to make a strategic economic or financial choice of where to, right? They have maybe they have a limited amount of resources upon which to bear their effort, and so so maybe they're, as you said, they're utilizing third-party coverage to create the content to feed the sort of
masses
viewing audience beast. It is, again, I'm trying very hard not to focus on the negative or criticize the choice.
Right.
I'm longing for some sort of conversation about rationale for the choice.
Right.
Like, if they just explained, set the expectation, and if you already know it's going to be pretty bad compared to what it's been in the past, just set the expectation of, look, this is where we are. This is why we've chosen what to do. This is what we hope you will get out of it. Here's a if you are unsatisfied, here's an alternative solution, perhaps, to alleviate some of your concern. Right? 5-minute sort of, could have been Dave on one of his weekly updates. Yeah. Could have been I don't know, whoever the director of CrossFit Media is. I don't know who that is, right? Like, could have been on the CrossFit Games podcast. It could have been something where that
podcast is a representative of
right. It is their official outlet on the podcast space. Yeah. Could have been I don't know. I do know, actually, that's exactly what I'm saying. Like, the absence of the narrative makes the slap in the face of this like really bad coverage feel dismissive, disrespectful to the athlete. It's almost like, then why are you bothering? Like if it was gonna be this dismissive of those adaptive and age group athletes, then why did you even bother giving us that right? Like, so these are the athletes to watch for. Great coverage. I'm super excited to see how Scott Panchik and the big guy, I can't think of it all of a sudden. Right? This how you know what I'm talking about. God dang it. Come on, Tommy. You got to be my Tommy DeShawn.
Yeah. I wasn't ready for that.
Or let's say I'm so excited to see Sam Briggs and Stacey Tovar, right? Like, actually, I really am excited to see Stacey Tovar and what she can do.
Yeah. Is she just coming off a baby? Or was that a couple years ago?
I'm not sure. I mean, but
she's always been one of my favorites.
Right. So I watch their pre stuff. They get me all excited. I, wake up, finish the morning, get things ready, and I'm like, all right, sweet. Here's the coverage. I'm like, oh, cool wide shot. Waiting, and then I hear first event. It's a beep, 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 and I'm like, oh, this is weird. I think it. Right. Like, huh. So is there I must be on the wrong, I must be on the wrong channel, right? And I scroll up to the top and I'm like, huh. All right. I guess this is it. And then the commentators come in like 10 minutes into it and I don't even know what they're talking about.
Yeah. And it's like they pop in and out. It's there's no there's nothing saying, like, you don't know when they're going to come in.
Yeah, so it's that feeling of, if they knew it was going to be this sparse of coverage, then don't say to me, like, don't get excited about who to watch. I can't watch them. Or if it's going to be like, yeah, exactly.
Just imagine this, but like the only thing that's moving that you can really see moving is the clock in the upper left-hand corner.
Exactly.
This is just the view. I watch on my phone. I didn't even realize that there were people on the field. This was during the Olympic total, I think. Yeah, during the Olympic total, yeah.
Yeah. And so there are there's like other feeds by individuals where you're catching quick little glimpses of David Hippensteel. I think it was on Instagram. So then, right, I go on Instagram, back on Instagram during this week to be able to catch games coverage because apparently social media is the network by which CrossFit will be broadcasting its professional coverage of its premier annual sporting event. Right, like, because social media is a stable platform upon which to rest your entire media profile. Oh, you froze. Oh, you're unfroze. So I go on to, and it's like you're good. You're in. It's like 15 seconds worth of coverage of like 2 or 3 athletes, none of which they did profiles on earlier in the week, directing me to get excited about to watch.
Yes.
So the narrative that is provided is incoherent and discontinuous. Go ahead.
I say it was put out to put something out, but it's like you said, it's not consistent across the platforms and across the messages it seems like they were trying to put out.
Yeah. So I don't, and again, like, I'm being critical based on the material provided. I don't want it to be like sound like a moral judgment on like they're bad people or whatever. Right. I just don't know. As a consumer of the product, I don't know what's happening. And therefore, in the vacuum of uncertainty, I'm left to have to create my own story.
Yeah.
And so if I'm one of 10,000 people that logged in, 10,000 people at one point were on the CrossFit Games YouTube channel to view the age group and adaptive athletes compete in their annual worldwide competition. All 10,000 of us had to make up our own story about what we were seeing. That doesn't seem like an effective media narrative strategy.
Do you so like going back, would you if they flat out said like if they just said there will not be continuous coverage of this group,
It's at
but
least
it'll
something.
like you will have like the on the field like visual, you'll have the commentators for the individual competition, you will have that. For this stuff, like you will not. Like if right on the front end, like it was like you said, set the expectation. And I watching it yesterday, I was thinking about how in my mind I'm like, but isn't it so cool that they have like what other sport has teenagers and the adaptive and the masters all on the same playing field as the like professionals, right? Like they're all getting to an extent the same treatment. It's the Olympics for all of these. There's not a separate Olympics for teens. There's not a separate Olympics for the adaptive. There's not a set. They all get the same thing. So how cool is that for them? And sometimes I wonder, it's like, is that where, and there's like, tell me another sport where that happens. And
I have another question for you. What's the average age of your affiliate membership?
average age,
Mm-hmm.
I'd say probably somewhere around 35-ish.
Okay, so
35, 40. Yeah.
So masters
Yeah.
athletes.
Masters.
So if you as a representative of the CrossFit community were attempting to use the CrossFit Games to meet the stated mission of CrossFit HQ, which was to have 30 million, 300 million, 30 million. I forget what the number was that Rosa came in saying, and then Fall has doubled down on, right? Yeah. I think it was 30,000 affiliates and 300 million people doing CrossFit by 2030 or something like that.
Yeah.
I'm making those numbers up. I don't remember if that was exactly it, but it was sort of like a 10x increase. Wouldn't the age group and adaptive athlete forum at the CrossFit Games be a exceptionally potent medium through which to appeal towards the primary demographic in the majority of your affiliate machine? Oh boy, me or you? I'm gonna keep talking, even though I'm not sure if I have frozen or if Eric has frozen. I could maybe sing a little song. Unfortunately, I have no control over the back end of this wonderfully constructed. Oh, I'm pretty sure it was Eric. He lost connection. So says we're still live, but I have a feeling he's gonna have to reset this. And now you guys just get my big sleepy face. We can talk about something else. Maybe I should log off, and then he'll come back on. I don't know, drink some coffee. I'm going to log off. I'm going to exit. I'm going to leave the studio and then let him come back in.
There he is. All right.
We're back.
We're back.
So was that streaming on YouTube the whole time?
Yeah.
Oh, excellent. Just like a blank screen.
Yeah, so our background was up.
Oh,
the background was up. It was just running. Yeah. So we were gone.
I left. I didn't feel comfortable being there by myself.
Yeah.
I was very afraid.
What do I do with my hands? Yeah, I'm sitting there like I saw you froze and I froze. I'm like, uh-oh. And then
right, if both people freeze, it's definitely you. If the other person, go ahead.
And then our screens went black, and I was like, and I sat there as I'm thinking it. Meg pops out and she goes, "Axel pulled out the router." I'm sorry.
Problem solved. Yep. Mystery solved.
Yep.
So all that to say, my whole little rampage of the of criticism.
Yeah.
None of the YouTubers, that's what you want to, right? Because that's the platform that they're on, and that's actually what Hiller calls himself, which I appreciate. Yeah. Are being critical of it. Tons of comments in the people, but they are doing, I think, a very good job and a clear and explicit service, or attempting to CrossFit, that they are only focusing on the positive. They are celebrating the athletes. They are celebrating their access to the athletes, celebrating the opportunity to cover folks who maybe wouldn't have the opportunity to have a prime time coverage. And I am so impressed by the sort of leadership that Savan is both expressing and displaying, that he said that that's what he was going to do. He said, I'm not in the business to critique here. I'm in the business to celebrate the athletes, and CrossFit has given me the opportunity to have that access. So that is going to be my primary focus. Yeah. Whoever I talk to, whatever I do, it is all celebration of their accomplishment to get to the games, and then a capturing of that experience as those individuals compete and express their fitness and all the hard work that they've put in. And I mean, I gotta say, that is so heartening, right? The optimist and romantic in me is just like, so cool. Like that, I just think that's a really healthy and amazing way, while at the same time leaving a gap or a space. I'll be interested to see after it's all over or as it progresses, what kind of commentary develops about the atrocity of the age group and adaptive athlete coverage. Yeah. So that's my piece on it so far after day one, pre-day two commencement.
Savan, I like that too. Savan's always been such a huge supporter of the athletes.
Mm-hmm.
From I love that, he called Dave up on a show. I was like, did you watch it? He's like,
I watched it.
Can I do behind the scenes? Sure, why not?
Yeah.
Like, well, let me think about it.
Let me get back to you. Yeah. And then he got back to him in like 10 hours. Like, yeah, it's all yours.
But he made such a great point where he's like, that behind the scenes was so great for helping the athletes build a platform, or it gave the athletes a platform and helped get them a little bit more exposure outside of the very clean and critiqued and these documentaries. Like, it gave them a lot of. So I'm excited to see all the behind the scenes stuff. And I always remember too when Monster, like, when CrossFit took that sponsorship from Monster, and he's like, CrossFit, what are you doing? But also, hell yeah, athletes get paid. And so he's always been such a supporter of them. So I'm glad going into this, he knows, like, that he said that, like, he's here for the athletes. They're there because of the athletes. And so he's always been great about that. So anyway, like I said, I obviously, once we get to the starting tomorrow, the individuals start tomorrow, Thursday. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Today's Wednesday.
Yeah.
Yes. Thursday.
Yeah. So obviously the coverage is going to ramp up a bit.
You'd imagine, right? Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. That semifinal coverage was difficult to kind of wrap my head around. And if Chase Ingram hadn't sort of taken it and run with it and found people to help support him, and then sort of like open sourced. I mean, you've heard, did you listen to, I think Chase came on Saban's podcast to talk about how that sort of materialized across the 3 weekends of semifinals. Mm-hmm. So there would just be the general feeds, the one general feed for the semifinal for the first like 3 events of each of the semifinals. And so Chase Ingram said to CrossFit, like, I'm not sure if you can hear this lawn action happening behind me. I'm going to shut my door. It's very annoying. Long arms. Okay, a little bit better. He said, I'll do it. And he went there physically for it, set up shop, and they had like 3 or 4 folks with their iPhones basically filming. And then I think it was probably a StreamYard or some other back-end service that he and Adrian Conway were streaming it through. He physically couldn't go to the one in California. So somebody, an affiliate owner, reached out to him and said, hey, I've got 2 or 3 pretty good cameras, and I got some folks. We can stream it if you have something on site to link it through. And then Chase ran it from Dallas. He was in Dallas. Adrian Conway was on site, and Kalipa. So it was Adrian Conway and Jason Kalipa were kind of the on site. And so the 3 of them were kind of doing it. And then the one in Europe, I think Chase Ingram flew to Europe and did that one. I think I don't remember exactly. Yeah. Super cool. I mean, it was really impressive, enjoyable to kind of watch. Very sort of, as they said, guerrilla, not like big ape, but
GUE. Yeah.
And they made the association of like there is value in, right, the straight stick kind of corporate version, high-end, expensive coverage. And then there's kind of an equal and value or attractiveness of sort of the back end. And I guess they made an association of like Madden, or no, sorry, Peyton Manning watch or something.
Oh, during Monday nights, yeah.
Is that so? There's like they made an allusion to it, and I did a quick look. Like it's like a couple. Is it Peyton Manning it's sitting?
It's Peyton and Eli, and they're like sitting in their living rooms, like basically as fans watching the game, and then commenting on the action as it's happening. Yeah.
What an amazing concept. And I would totally watch that. I would probably watch that over, like I would be watching that maybe like on my computer and then watching the actual broadcast coverage on the TV, probably muted, and then listening, right? Like, so what Chase was saying and what Savan was saying is that there is room for like both of that. Again, I guarantee you the NFL and the NFL media machine has a coherent narrative of what that Manning cam is doing or serving, how it's serving the larger arc of what the NFL wants for a media presence. And they're willing to like carve out, a 10%, 20% swath of like, we're not going to control this. We're not going to tell the Manning brothers what to do. We're not going to we're not even going to give them any sort of support, but we know that within that banded sort of swath of market that they appeal to, it is going to link up or feed or nest within our larger kind of intent. If I were to ask you as a general viewer, what is CrossFit's overall intent of coverage for the 2023 CrossFit Games?
That's hard to put a finger on. I mean,
I have no idea.
There really hasn't been I mean, what would you say? Would you say that you have an idea of it from games past?
Yes, 100%.
Like what?
They would do pre-show. They would have Annie and Sean, and they would bring on Dave and interview him, right? And they would have Glassman stand up in front and say, "We are here to." I can, run. They would rerun the tape of him at the 2009 game, standing in front of the sign, where I forget the tagline or whatever, right? But you knew what the intent was. There was, right, they would film and release like the athlete dinner or Dave's, right? And so there was significantly less coverage and access to the age group and adaptive. I mean, the age group was in a parking lot outside of Carson, right? So, they threw them some hot dogs and put a canopy up and said, "Do your kettlebell swings and, put your Ben Gay on your elbow over here, but just stay off the camera." But it was okay because the expectation was like, oh, well, yes, the masters are there. Yeah, it's kind of cool. I didn't know they 35-year-olds could do pull-ups like that. That's pretty awesome. Right? 60, what? She's how old? But there was also no expectation. I didn't watch a 9-minute video telling me which 35 to 65 athletes to watch, know them by name, and then go, oh, cool. Oh, it's being broadcast. I'd love to see what kind of snatches and clean and jerks, the welder with the beard, Santa Claus, fit Santa Claus. God, what the hell's Kirk, whatever his name, or David Grubb, Jason Grubb. Right? That's my age group. I'd love to see what Grubb hit. I didn't get to watch it. I couldn't watch it. It wasn't available to me. But I was piqued. I was promised. And then I was disappointed. Versus if I was just disappointed at the beginning or just never even offered the opportunity, then perhaps my disappointment isn't as stoked or right. Like, I don't know. You understand what I'm trying to say. I'm not saying it very well.
Yeah. I mean, when would you say they got away from that?
From the narrative?
Yeah.
2018, when Greg Glassman fired the entire media team.
I can see where that could be a very, very clear.
However, in 2019, there was an extremely clear agenda for the CrossFit Games. It was inclusion. It was, we are going to bring somebody from every single country that has an affiliate. And we are going to spend this weekend finding the fittest man, woman, team, and age group athlete. Like, it was like, oh, okay. So the first event was a bit of a train wreck, but pretty damn cool to see, right? And it was from the .com workout the day before. Yeah. It was the run, the overhead squats, and the rope climbs. Like, I was like, wow, that was pretty cool. And you know what? You got to see every single athlete do it. Even the 2020 games during COVID with the first event, the stuff online. And again, perfect? No. I'm sure like athletes could tell you like, oh, it was horrible. Like, this isn't what I thought the games were going to be, blah, blah, blah. I was like, well, that's kind of your fault for not actually listening to what they said their agenda was, like what it is this event is attempting to do. Because if you look at it, like, I give that 19 games pretty high score of like, yeah, Glassman kind of did what he said. 2020, they were one of the only sporting events that was able to, from start to finish, accomplish its entire scope of its season.
That was impressive. That was
right. 2021. I'm not sure I remember. I mean, that's Medeiros' first year, right? So Tia's still dominating. I'd have to watch the documentary to remember like what coverage looked like. Last year,
that was Medeiros' first year, winning. Yeah, that's right.
Last year, there's all the drama about Castro was fired, so it was Adrian Bosman's first year. Rose's step out and fall came. No, his fall. Yeah. It was about Rose's stepped aside and Don Fall came in. So there was kind of like drama around 2022 as well. I guess it's like, at what point does I can appreciate that things ebb and flow as far as like where capability is, but it seems to me that the art of storytelling if you want to know how to do it, if I'm CrossFit, just go back to 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 14 through 17. And just look at like, oh, right. It looks like coverage. It smells like coverage. It sounds like coverage. It accomplishes the goal of coverage, which is identify your characters, identify the character arc, tell the story.
Yeah.
And I know I make that sound simple, and simple is not always easy, but I don't know what the story is. I definitely know what Savan's story is, and it's super enjoyable. And if like I'm not bothering going to anything at this point, like I'm checking it out just to seeing if they deliver anything, but I'm not bothering going to games.crossfit.com to gather information.
It's really not the place, so, especially for this stage.
Yeah. I would say it, like, other than maybe descriptions of workouts, but even there's no descriptions. James Sprague came on Savan's show last night. The athletes have been getting emails with the descriptions of the workouts to come, so that upside down medley, or the upside down upside down inverted medley. He was describing things that and then the sandbag and ski erg event, the test. He said the weights of the sandbags is 200 pounds. And everyone was like, what? How do you know the weights? He's like, oh, we got an email. So again, not an athlete, not even on the media team. Do I deserve any of that information? No, right? Like, I'm not even paying for any of this, right? Like, I have no skin in the game. So if they don't want to tell me what the weights are, that's totally fine. Does not telling the general audience the loading and some of the details that they are telling the athletes serve them in any way? That's a little bit of a rhetorical question, but my take on it is it actually hinders them in continuing to build a relationship with their viewing audience. Do you know what I mean? Like, they're clearly not keeping it a secret because they emailed it to the athletes. But nice job. The ski bag, we now know that it is 200 pounds. The sandbag squats are 200 pounds because James Sprague got an email and came onto Savan's podcast and said that. So in a sense, it's kind of cool. Way to go, Savan, right? Like, breaking news. He's the only outlet that has provided that information because he has a relationship with an athlete, which I hope James Sprague doesn't get in trouble. But I'm wondering, like, were they told not to release it? And how hard is it in this display to place loading next to the text of the sandbag squats?
Right. Was it intentional, or is this lazy?
Right. And then on the ride, if I click, are those hyperlinked? If the blue lettering?
Let's see, shall we? Oh, they are. So for the ride.
Click on it. Okay. So look at this display. Complete as many laps as possible on a Trek mountain bike in Marlin Mountain 8 bike. Okay, great. So I click. So what would you, if you clicked on that hyperlink, what would you expect to see in this expanded or exploded version on that the little button there on the top right?
Just more detail.
Right. Do you mean details like when the 40-minute time cap expires, whatever lap the athlete is currently on, they will be allowed or authorized the time to complete that lap, and they will be ranked amongst all of the other athletes who have also completed that amount of work. That is how this is going to run. That's not anywhere. James Sprague came on to Savan's podcast and explained that because the athletes received an email or they either got a brief or something. And so he says that, and I'm like, holy crap, that's awesome. That's genius, right? Like, so basically instantly the strategy changes, and my excitement around wanting to watch that event went from like 40 minutes of riding on a bike, I'm not going to watch that, to like a 10, like, holy shit, I am totally going to watch that. Because think about those last 6 to 8 minutes of that ride.
Last 68 minutes?
68 minutes. The last 7 to 8 minutes of that ride. Those athletes are going to be destroying themselves to get at least over the line to the next like start of the next lap. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because
That's not written anywhere in there. Yeah.
So you could feasibly have an athlete 3, 2, like 39:58, 39:59, cross the line of their 6th lap, and they now have the opportunity to finish a whole nother 7th lap. So what was a 40-minute AMRAP becomes a 46.5-minute AMRAP. And now if there's 3 of them that all like get that, those 3 are battling for the last 6.5 minutes to see who gets first, second, third in that event.
Yeah.
So freaking genius. And in a world of cuts, what'll even be more freaking amazing to watch will be places like 10th, 11th, 12th, 10th, 14th, 18th, like, because you want to be in the top 30 to make that first cut after Friday. Like, like, why wouldn't you tell this story? Look how excited I'm getting, and I'm totally making it up. But I mean, go ahead.
Which it's watching people ride bikes for 40 minutes.
This 6-minute video got boring about 3 or 4 minutes into it. Yeah. And then when they got to the little placard or the little ramp, the thing that they got to carry the bike and run, I was like, oh, that's kind of interesting. But like this, and I mean, we're nerds, right? Like, I got it.
We will watch it, but like
totally. And then I was watching the little graphic, and I was hoping to like maybe the guy's making commentary while he's riding or something. But whatever it is, like, and clearly they had sound because we could hear the right, they're banging around and stuff. This is a cool thing, probably pretty quickly put together because they're doing this on Tuesday, I think, or no, Monday, probably before the athletes came, or shit, maybe they're even doing Sunday, who knows. Why can't you cut that with a quick video? They've already released the details of the workout to the athletes. Why not cut that to a quick video of Adrian explaining, like, so it's going to be a 40-minute. Athletes are going to have a chance to catch on. But a little twist, folks. You finish a lap, and you're halfway through that lap, 40 minutes expires. You got the rest of the time you need to finish it. And your placing will be based on all of the other athletes that are also on that lap and who finishes the line first. So it pays to be a winner. Right? Like those, like all of a sudden I'm like, oh, that's a good move. Right? Like, but where is that? Give
it to me.
Like that.
Just give me all the things.
Like the mother, like who on the mothership? And maybe, right? Like maybe that's why Justin Berg got fired.
Yeah.
Right, like Dave came in and Dave's probably like, holy shit, there is a lot of stuff broken. Okay, I'm gonna get crushed for this, and we're gonna get like people are gonna be really dissatisfied. But you know what? That's not gonna kill me. We're probably gonna lose 5% of our viewership. That's not gonna on this age group and adaptive. That's not gonna kill me. But holy fucking shit, if this isn't fixed, this is gonna kill us. So maybe he came in the 3 weeks that he had to like, look, he's like, Adrian, you're good to go. We're going to talk about this. But our 1 meter target is this. Our 5 meter target is this. Our 10 meter target is this. And you're going to take notes this entire week of like all the crap that's broken. You're going to do this, right? And like, who knows? Maybe that's where Dave is, where he's just like, what's on fire? What's flooding? Who's shooting at me? Right? Like those are the 3 things I need to worry about right now. And we got an international event that we have to finish. Let's finish this. We'll freaking figure it out how to make it better next year. But Like,
Yeah, I'm
who
curious
knows?
with the timeline that basically Castro was given. How much did he look at and be like, all right, well, we're going to roll with what we got, with the exception of like a couple tweaks here and there that you can make without really disrupting the games. But it's going to look different. It's going to look real different next year.
Right, and that might be where he came on his weekly update on Monday.
Yeah.
Which, right, in the scope of the media ecosphere, is that the word I'm looking for? No. Yeah, whatever. Just made that up. He alluded they're out. This is it. This is the last year at Madison.
That's all they've said.
Right. No, I don't need any more than that. Right. I personally don't need any more. Maybe they don't know where they're going. Maybe they do know where they're going. Again, doesn't matter. But he made the comment, and it seems to me that's an interesting thing. Maybe it's the limitations for coverage of being in Madison. True. Who knows, right? Like, so maybe there's an infrastructure issue. Maybe there's an accessibility issue. Who knows? Like, so in a sense,
because it's too hot. I'm like,
I don't think that's it.
Yeah, that's
welcome to planet Earth.
Right. Like, anywhere in the United States in August is probably going to be hot.
It's so hot out here. Bob, I'm so hot.
It's not Carson hot, I'm sure that.
Yeah, right? That was like 110 when they were doing Nerf that 1 year.
I don't think the athletes are complaining about the heat.
Yeah, when Kara Saunders and Annie Thorstadter almost died.
Had heat stroke. Yeah.
Yeah. It's there's a simplicity. I've heard somebody else say this. There's a simplicity to this that, and I look at the workouts, the tests that they have released so far. They're not that complicated, and I appreciate that. Right? Like, even alpaca redo is right. It's what it was supposed to be last year, but it had to get changed because of the wet ropes for the legless rope climbs, the seated legless rope climbs. It's not a complicated event because the spectacle or the excitement isn't the event, isn't the equipment. It's how these freaks of fitness accomplish it in ways that are seemingly inhuman, except they are human, and they do things that you look and are just like, oh my God, which is what makes me really curious. I'm still waiting to see what Helen is going to look like. And I wanted to see Scott Panchik and who else is in there? I wanted to see the.
Was that Sam Dancer you were thinking about, by the way?
Sam Dancer. Yeah. I wanted to see Sam Dancer do Helen.
Yeah.
As programmed, 3 rounds. Guess what? I couldn't see it, and I haven't been able to find it. I haven't been able to find an up close version to look at how Scott Panchik, not so much, but the double pyramid Helen that Graham Holberg and Chris Spieler do from the 2010 games, and then immediately went to a heavy shoulder to overhead. They had within 3 minutes of finishing your Helen, you had to complete a single heavy shoulder to overhead. That was the 2010 back-to-back event. I wanted to see how guys that would have been of age to be competing at that time back then, how they looked doing an event that Andy and I just did last week.
Right.
That would have been really cool.
I say, do you wonder if
I couldn't see it from? Hold on. Let me go to my backyard and continue to do this podcast. Oh my God! I saw Wad Zombie had one on Instagram where it's like it's kind of a fuzzy background, right? I couldn't make out this version of Helen.
Yeah.
Which, right? I think they did it yesterday. I forgot to look at this.
I had the leaderboard at one point too. I'll find it. Yeah, I think that I had the leaderboard up. We'll find it. But I think I kicked you out.
Yeah, I thought maybe I had said something that you didn't like.
Shoot, we were saying, you said you think they did it yesterday. I was looking to see. I was going to pull up the leaderboard and see. Here we go. If they hit it yesterday, because right now I know Sam Dancer's in first. Age group. Yeah, so yeah, they did Helen yesterday.
Okay, right, and
Sam Dancer finished at 8:18.25.
How amazing! How cool would it have been to see that?
I'm sorry, that was Chelsea Nichols. That's Chelsea Nichols on the 35 to 39. Sorry, Sam Dancer. He finished second place, 7:18.1.
God, that's a lot of meat to move through the world that fast.
Now they haven't specified what, like, this isn't going to be. Is it regular Helen, or are they hinting?
So that right? We don't know because we couldn't see them execute it or any sort of specifics on. But yeah, I'm based on those time. And if you go to the workouts, I think for the so I'm going to the CrossFit Games app, right, where they're continually telling me, go to the app, use the app. So, okay. So let's go to age group, men 35 to 39, ride, Olympic total, Farmers Field, Helen. Nope. Oh, well, the description is 3 rounds for time, 400 meter run, 21 kettlebell swings, 12 pull-ups. No details on the weight for the kettlebell swings. Like,
it could be a double kettlebell.
Right. So none of, and it says at the top of that page too, it says workout details.
Yeah.
Okay. So like, been doing CrossFit since 2006, been really doing it since 2009. I totally appreciate the absence of guidance and specificity, which allows for the requirement of an individual to kind of own what they're doing and how to do it. This is a competition where details matter because it allows for a standardization of quantifying who is the fittest as determined by work capacity. That to me is something like, if I'm a viewer and a consumer of that product, I would really like to know what those details are so I can quantifiably measure the 35 to 39 age group men to the 45 to 49 age group men. And it'd be 35 to 39 women to the 60-year-old women, right? Like, did they exactly do the same workout? And you see some 66, 65-year-old woman go faster than Sam Briggs, which probably isn't going to happen. But, right, like, oh my God, isn't that cool for the efficacy of this methodology? For you, Eric, owner of Fairwinds CrossFit, who runs a master's program, to take this and celebrate it with your coaches and then their athletes tomorrow, or today. Do they have class today?
Helen's tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Yeah. And you pull up a clip of the video of the athletes who are their age doing Helen, and you program Helen for them on Thursday. Oh, wait, shoot. There's no video of them doing Helen. Okay. There's no details of how they did Helen. There's no interviews of them after doing Helen. So you have zero content from the entity that you are representing and supporting to continue to support their stated mission and initiative of increasing affiliation and increasing participation by the general population across and around the world.
Feels simple, like just get it out there. Since I pulled this up, this is David Hippensteel, 65 plus, whatever Helen is, he did it in
10 minutes and 40. 10 minutes,
yeah.
Okay.
So
Which again, like for a guy at 67 years old, that's a pretty amazing Helen time.
Question is, can he lock his arms out overhead this year?
I did. I watched him clean and jerk, and he did.
Yeah. Not he. So originally my thought was like, I totally get the like, hey, we're not going to release all the details of Helen. We're going to play this close to the vest. And so like when you guys see it, it'll be the first time the athletes see it and they get and maybe like the athletes could have been sworn to secrecy, right? But like maybe it's like we're going to throw out Helen. Every CrossFit athlete, that's probably been doing, anyone that's been doing CrossFit for 6 months to a year has probably done Helen. And so we're going to play this close to the vest. But now that they've had the age groups do it, like that's obviously not the case, because between now and tomorrow morning, 5:15 class, I bet we'll know what it was that at least they did. Now maybe they'll do something different for the individuals, but like by this time tomorrow, I bet we know the version that they did, because maybe an athlete will talk about it. Maybe someone will just happen to be on, not Twitter, X now, and talk about it. Like Savan will probably be talking about it because he'll have found out. I mean, like, or do you think? I mean, I don't know. Like, if they were playing it close to the vest, then
isn't that probably that? So, okay, you are going to throw a end of summer party for the affiliate, and this is a thought experiment. You're going to throw an end of summer party for the affiliate, and you spend
September 30th is the one I have on my calendar, FYI.
You spend $15,000 for supplies, for equipment. You rent a marina that has people can swim and boat, and you get a bunch of paddle boards, and you hire a clown who's going to do balloon animals and a bouncy house. And rather than also develop a deliberate and specific notification plan and sort of advertisement scheme, you say, you know what? I'm just going to trust that I'll mention it to the coaches, and I'll let the coaches tell their classes. And then on that Saturday, you show up, and the same 5 people that come to everything are there. And you're like, what the heck? Why didn't anybody come? I don't understand why nobody knows about this. I told the coaches. I thought somebody would post it on their Instagram feed.
Right.
Like Ariel, why didn't you tweet about it? X about it. Right? Like, do you see how kind of absurd that sounds?
I totally agree.
Like, so
right, like that's right. Like I feel like that's they were either, and my initial thought was they were gonna keep it under wraps until
when?
Now, right? Until my thought was until what, the first day of the games.
Okay. So those have happened, and we still don't know. On their premier platform, through which the general population can gather information. You just went to it. None of the specifics, none of the details are available and again, who the hell am I? I don't own an affiliate. I'm just a garage CrossFitter, right? Like, I have zero impact or ability to impart any sort of influence on anyone. You own an effing affiliate. You are the engine by which they will generate the momentum to accomplish their stated corporate goal. And they are not providing you any specific and deliberate means by which to accomplish that, which 10 years ago, Glassman never said he was going to. That's not what your affiliation fee got you, right? It was a licensing agreement. The simple fact that you were allowed to use the name capital C, capital F CrossFit was like, yeah, that's it. That's what was in the deal. The rest of it, you're on your fucking own. Figure it out. And it was always like, sweet. I understand the relationship. I got it. The methodology is the thing that I am paying for. And the ability and the right to use the name is the thing I am paying for. As of 3 years ago, that game changed. CrossFit sold, right? Like they kicked him out. Glassman sold it. New guy came in, completely changed the entire architecture of that relationship, shifted the mission statement, changed the stated corporate goals, changed the whole freaking thing. There is zero support or move to accomplish that for you as the affiliate owner. Where do you go to get the material to do exactly what you imagine you should be doing with this workout, Helen, which was programmed on .com today?
Thanks, sweetheart. Oh, love you, babe.
Where are my pancakes?
Quiet you.
Where are my Mary Janes?
This is called a Dutch baby, which essentially is a giant pancake.
And it has crust.
And it has
ooh, yummy.
And we have it with whipped cream.
That's right. Definitely, that sounds paleo. That fits my macros.
It's paleo whipped cream. Can I, babe? Hi, how are you? Sorry, while you're talking, I am currently
doing something else.
I'll show you. So I am currently on what I'm expecting to see pop up. Babe, you're choking me out.
Choking me out. Ah! And there it goes down.
SummerSlam is on Saturday, sweetheart. We will watch that then.
What?
So I'm currently on X and trying to see,
okay.
right? Trying to see if anyone, if there's anything in this. I just did a quick CrossFit Games, Helen.
Yeah.
To see if there's anything out there on what they did. That's July 18th. Hey, Fee, hop down, sweetheart. Hop down. This is very important work that Daddy's doing right now.
But I remember.
In
a sense, you don't have to zoom that far out. This is the.
Excuse me, Fee. I'm doing something right now. I'll talk to you in a little bit. Okay.
Pictures?
You can go take pictures of your house.
This is a critical, in a sense, this is a critical support method for the health and the future trajectory of your personal business.
I'm sorry, say that again.
This is a critical support. This is a critical thing for you as a small business owner to ensure the future success of your business.
Yeah.
And the entity that is supposed to be the primary deliverer of those supports is a gigantic vacuum of information.
Say bye, Fee. Say bye-bye. Say see you later. Say after a while, crocodile.
Well, I jumped on see a wild crocodile. See you later, alligator. What's the other one? In a something. I can't think of it. I can't think of it.
We always say make like a tissue.
We always say
boogie.
And boogie. I can hear it too. You have some boogies. You should go blow those. Okay. I'll see you in a little bit, Fee. I'll see you in a little bit. Bye, sweetheart. Bye. I'll see you in a little bit.
no.
She is persistent, this one, as she always has been. And now I have a naked dragon out here.
Oh, boy.
Right today. I think it's time to land this plane, and we'll pick up on this. I'm excited to see how this turns out. We'll recap it next week, and see how things are going. But final thoughts on this one?
I think anything CrossFitGames.com is basically going to be a waste of your time. You might as well just watch all the gorilla stuff, because that's that's where the he really was naked except for his. That's awesome. Yeah. Yeah. So I think right, like be careful what you wish for. They're getting. I don't know. I really am excited to see Hiller's continued content. I mean, the guy has kind of been the only place, in Savant's podcast is YouTube has been the only place to see things.
Would you, if you were to see, like, what's one from this year, if you could, like you said, that one move from this year to next year, and it's like the bare minimum move from this year to next year that would make you happier and say, like, all right, this is good. We're moving in the right direction. What's that one move?
Some sort of narrative, beginning, middle, end.
Yeah.
Something either use the already established Chase Adrian Conway relationship, bring Annie Sakamoto and Sean Woodland back, incorporate Sean and Tommy into it somehow, right? Just something that has sort of a narrative arc, the standard sort of 3-part beginning, middle, end. And so the beginning being like, a week or two before, sort of this is what we can expect. This is who we're going to be following. This is what we would love to see. Middle being like, okay. And in that beginning, say like, we're not going to have 100% all coverage. We will be watching and commentating on the, top heats of all individual tests starting on whatever day. This is what you can expect. And this is where you can see it. And then they execute on that. And then an end, like a recap sort of, so that you the affiliate owner, has something to use.
Yeah. There's a story that gets people hooked and gets them in. And then, like you said, use that as to inspire, educate, entertain.
Yeah, look at that. There you go.
Yeah. Excuse me, feet. This is so much fun. So cool. Well, what is this is why you don't give kids giant pancakes for breakfast. Hop down. Hey, can you get some water? Can you give me some water, please? I would love some water. I am parched.
She's going to come back and pour it on your head.
I bet she forgets the water. She'll come back to something else that she walked by and got distracted. It's good time.
It's like who's the tree? Groot. It's like Groot in the first or the second Guardians of the Galaxy, your first one, when he had to go get the eye or the thing. He comes back. Is that a thumb?
I think it was the second one because I think I can picture baby Groot.
Yeah, right. We could call it Baby Groot.
Yeah.
I don't even want to know where that came from.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. All right. Gratitudes this week, brother.
Mine is my colleague, Mr. Don Wallace. Joan and I had an opportunity. We went down yesterday and spent the day at his pool and hung out, and it was just it was a really cool. He's got a great thing going on down there, and we got an opportunity to hang out with his kids, his boys, and his wife at the end of it. So just
water because it's empty.
Oh, you guys, your water shut off?
No, we have a water cooler.
Oh, okay.
One of those ones that deliver the jugs and stuff.
Yes.
Water down here is gross.
I think it's probably because you're on well water.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, just I love simple, but yet fun. And there was nothing, right? I told them the story of growing up. The boys, we'd go to a movie or go to like the whatever. Can I get a treat? Can I get a milkshake? Can I get whatever? And Nicole via a friend who said this, and then we picked it up and took it. Is the movie is the treat.
Yeah.
The zoo is the treat. Hanging out with Don was the treat.
Thanks, sweetheart. All right, I'll clean it for you. Thank you.
Like there was no need to have like any sort of entertainment or activity or thing. Like, no, the thing is the people. Like we're the thing. That's it. And so again, like the events don't matter. The tests don't matter. The programming, it's important, I guess, if it's sound and sound within the methodology. But the people doing the fitness is the treat.
Is the treat.
I can't see them. I'd love to actually see the
I
people
want to see the people.
doing the thing. That's it. Like, I don't care. That's like, okay, so you asked me what would be the one thing that they could improve. Let me see the people.
Let me see.
Like,
could they at least put a camera in a place that I could see them?
Yeah, like so that would be it. Like, maybe that's the one thing improve. Pick a better. I hope they pick a better camera angle. Maybe day 2. Maybe they've got enough. Like, what the funk are you doing? Responses, and maybe they move the camera angle. Like, oh shoot, I think we meant to have that closer. Anyway, so my gratitude is done. My gratitude is just the recognition of time spent with people is the only thing that you, if you can only value one thing, value that. And that was a nice reminder yesterday.
It's funny, mine's mine is I went to a Fee went to a birthday party for her friend up the street, and it was like Fee's birthday party a couple weekends ago, and then it was another kid's birthday party, and there was another kid's birthday, like 4 or 5 weeks straight of kids' birthday parties. And I was kind of looking at it, I was like going to this weekend, I was like, okay, another like day where I'm like gonna sit around and like, me, I love to socialize, but it's like it's a bunch of small talk with a bunch of people that, like, for the most part, I'm probably, if I see them again, it'll be at this birthday party next year. And it's just and it's like it's another Saturday, and like there's stuff we have to get done, but also the week is busy. It'd be nice to have some downtime. And I went into it being like, I was just like, okay, I guess I'll go. And I wasn't looking forward to it. And I don't know, I just created this narrative in my head. It's like, I'm sit here and like have small talk with these people that like just not in the mood. I don't have it in me. And then they were the dad for the party set up like this little splash pad, and then he had these like little sponge. They're like these little balls. They're almost like sponges. Basically, you throw at each other and they blow up water like water balloons, but then you can reuse them. They had like 100 of them.
Oh,
and so I'm like standing out there, and I was like, and I was just kind of watching, and then I got hit with one, and I was like, well, I can't get hit with one and not retaliate. I don't care that you're 6-year-old. And so then they had little water pistols, and I just started playing with the kids. And for 2 hours, I probably talked to adults here and there, and I like there was a water gun fight and this water balloon fight, and then they were playing games. And then during at one point, like all the kids were sitting around, and we played a game where I had to guess their middle names. And I was like, I had so much fun with the kids. I was like, oh, I'm so glad I went. And I forgot to like don't have an expectation. And it was just fun. Like I had so much fun just like kind of being a kid with the kids. And so like, which is really easy to do at a birthday party. And so it was just kind of like this like opportunity to kind of like shift my mindset and be like, I don't have to sit here and small talk if I don't want to sit here and do small talk. I can throw water balloons at kids and show off my juggling skills and create alliances. And
so basically you were the gorilla clown entertainment that the parents had no idea was showing up for the party.
Yeah,
or maybe they did.
Maybe they did. Maybe they knew what they were getting themselves into.
When they bought those balloons, they're like, oh my God, I bet you if we can get little Timmy to throw one of these at Eric, he will entertain the children for hours.
Yeah. And it's it was a lot of fun. So
that's awesome. That's funny. Yeah. So what you're saying is you got like 6 more invitations to 6-year-old birthday parties for the rest of the summer?
Is everyone's birthday on a Saturday in the summer? Like it's,
there was a quick text thread that all of a sudden generated like, hey, are we inviting the Hoyps to Matilda's birthday party? Hey, are we actually just invite Eric? Just bring Eric to the party and make sure there's a bounce house ice cream, Dutch cakes, and water balloons.
It's like that whole like, you invite a kid to your kid's birthday party, and that's like, oh, by the way, we're having our kid's birthday party in a few weeks. Like, and then you get the invite, so it's the whole like reciprocating. I'm like, you don't have to reciprocate. It's okay, but it's not about me.
No, they're just reciprocating because they want you to come because you're going to play with the kids and entertain them.
So, and the kids,
Daddy, can I come to Matilda's birthday party? Oh, sorry, Fee, you didn't get the invite. I'm the only one who got the invite.
Yeah, sorry, babe. You go ahead. And I'll say the Fee slept like a rock that night. I slept like a rock that night. I'm hoping the other kids slept like a rock that night. So it was good.
Oh,
Freshly squeezed. Cool. Awesome. So anyway, yeah, you can have fun at kids' birthday parties if you want to.
that's right.
Yeah.
Just bring your own water balloons and silly string.
Yes. Yes. And I do appreciate one of the kids got my joke because they gave me they had cupcakes and I was like, oh, what kind of cupcakes are those? And the girl's birthday was just turned she just turned 7. She just turned 7. She's a year older than Fee. And she goes, they're mermaid cupcakes. I was like, oh, they're mermaid? They're not homemade? And she gave me that she gave me the like that look, like bad joke.
That's pretty funny, dude. That came right off the top of your head.
Right on top of my head. I just oh, it kind of works.
That's really funny. I mean,
So-
really fast.
She didn't need to laugh. The look that she gave me was all. You gave me a reaction. That's all I wanted. That's
Yep.
all I needed.
Touchdown.
Yeah, that was awesome. So cool. All right. Well, yeah, I'm looking forward. All right. So, quick question: Are you working out tomorrow morning? Thursday morning?
No.
Pass on.
Dad, we're going on a baseball trip with my dad.
Fun.
Boys and I. So we'll be leaving Thursday.
I was going to ask if we find out what the version of Helen is, would you try to do that version of Helen tomorrow?
No, I already did it last week with the bike ride. Andy and I did it with the 800-meter rides. So,
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome.
Nah.
All right, dude.
Yeah.
Well, then let's get out of here. Let's go watch some athletes from a distance.